Ladies and gentlemen, live from the National Film Festival here in Tangier, in its 25th edition, joined with another special guest from another country, a beautiful country, the beautiful country of Cameroon. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so I will let you tell the Moroccan audience about who you are.
My name is Donatus Faye Tandem. I'm the Director of Cinema and Audiovisual Productions in Cameroon. And I'm very pleased to be here. This is my very first trip to Morocco, and I think it's just the beginning of greater things.
Yeah. So what is your first impression, of the festival?
Oh, my impressions are explosive. I am boiling with appreciation, with excitement at everything I've seen, what I've heard, and the people I've met. Firstly, there is an open and exceptionally, I would say, legendary hospitality that I find with Moroccans, and their open-mindedness to collaborate with filmmakers, not only in Cameroon, but in the sub-Saharan Africa. And that's something I think we desperately need to extend a hand of fellowship and make our films grow. So I appreciate very deeply the government of Morocco for having me here. It's thanks to them that I'm being part of this wonderful experience.
Well, you are indeed. So what can you tell us about the cinema from the Cameroon?
Cameroonian cinema is in the process of taking off very, very mightily. Yes, we have some challenges with financing, we have challenges with distribution, but that has not affected the enthusiasm as far as production is concerned. On a daily basis, young boys and girls are actively producing. Now, this is sufficient motivation for us to try to find means and ways of getting their stories out so that those films don't only circulate on people's handsets in Cameroon, but should go around the world. And so we are looking up to seeing how we can expand our network, extend our relationships, and then begin to make worthy profits, benefit from the platforms existing in your great country, and benefit from the distribution channels that you may have. I just left from a panel discussion on distribution, and I found very, very interesting, and there are openings that could be of interest to Cameroonian filmmakers.
And how has the cinema evolved in the last 10 years in the Cameroon?
I think it's been evolving in leaps and bounds. I think thanks also to technological advancement, now there is a measurable access to tools of production, to equipment. Contrary to what obtained 15, 20 years back, where people needed to maybe cross over to Nigeria or go to France or go to other places to find filming equipment. Technology has made it such that now there are at the disposal of young Cameroonian filmmakers, and this is something that I want to celebrate, because through them we are able to measure the high level of imagination, the high level of technical expertise they are looking for, and then we are here now to try to find means and ways of getting across some worthy relations, some collaborative deals that could enable young people to get their stories out there.
Yeah, and what about the movie theaters, the cinemas in the Cameroon? Has the number increased in the last few years?
I would say the numbers have rather dwindled in the last few years, but since last year or so, there has been a consistent effort on the part of the ministry to find worthy partnerships. We call it public-private partnerships, in order to identify people who are ready to invest in cinema. And we're having a headway, because before now we had just about 3 or 4 cinemas, Canal Olympia in Douala and Yaoundé, and then there is Cinema Genesis that shut down, and some other person that's taking it over, which becomes the Silver Screen in Douala, and that same person is planning to set up a series of cinemas, and that's the hope we have in Cameroon. And that's the reason now we're trying to see how to touch base with other platforms, other distributors around the world, and especially in this beautiful country where people are open-minded and are ready to help in whatever way possible to enable our film circulate around.
Yeah, so taking into account the deep relations between Morocco and Cameroon, what haven't we collaborated in cinema before?
I asked this question. Why did we have to wait?
Yeah.
But I think, usually in Cameroon we say we got, nothing is ever too early or too late. Yeah. This is just the right time. And it could not have happened before now for a good reason. And this is just the time. And imagine that in my first visit to Morocco, I'm coming to Tangier, where I have had this inexplicable opportunities, these inexhaustible opportunities where we can collaborate, I think it's just the right time for us to jumpstart serious relations. Because in the invitation that brought me here, it was expressly mentioned that in part of our discussions, we're going to deepen and extend and possibly agree on the co-production deal. And this is exactly what we want. And when I talked with the director of the CCM and I talked with the director of ISPAC, I realized they are all ready. And one thing I appreciate very deeply is your government's openness to extend to sub-Saharan Africa. And I remember when the Minister of Youth, Culture and Communication visited and received us in a meeting, he said it's about time we started telling our stories. This is a wonderful expression coming from someone who is a decision maker. So we are here to see how to make this happen and begin to stop asking questions. Why is it only now that it's happening? And say, yes, actually we are starting up. And that's going to change the entire ecosystem of filmmaking in Cameroon.
We say better late than never.
Better late than never. Yes.
So what about the, let's say, your last participation in a festival in the Cameroon? When was it and where was it? Can you just tell the Moroccan audience about how festivals go in the Cameroon? Because we want to know a lot of things about Cameroon.
Thank you very much. The last festival I attended was Crown Noir. That's the flagship festival in Cameroon. And that ended like a week before I left, before I came to Morocco. And now I can see the difference between the organizational framework back home and what obtains here. Of course, that difference is in terms of mobilization, that difference in terms of available equipment, in terms of structure, in terms of dispositions that are available for the festival. And I think we're in a learning process, and what the government of Morocco is doing is saying, come over, see what we have, and then we see how to replicate that in your own country. This is what we appreciate very much. But one thing remains very clear, we have a lot of work to do back home in order to raise the standard of organization, to raise the level of participation, and then to raise, the intrinsic values and the activities that happen during festivals. Yeah. Because we have a bit of them, but they are hardly as expressive as we have experienced, as I've experienced here at this festival.
So a message to the youngsters or young people who want to pursue a career in the cinema, either in Cameroon or Morocco. What is your advice or your message to them?
The domain is vast and full of potentials. The opportunities are inexhaustible, but there is one condition. You need to train. You need to train yourself, and you need to be committed. If you are not passionate about it, you will give it up. All right? And success is actually groomed in hard work. And the moment young people, though I'm not talking to those who want the quick fix, those who want to go through the different stages, because when you skip stages, then you need to come back to it. Cinema is a very, very promising domain. It's actually art, it's culture, it's intellectual property, it's diplomacy, it's everything. But it's also a lot of money on condition that you constitute, that you build yourself, that you commit to it with passion, and you make it happen.
And in the future, can we see the cinema in the Cameroon open up to the Asian countries and also South American countries?
That's what we're looking out for. We are just looking at opportunities, and given what the platforms that already the Moroccan government is beginning to give us, we're now going to benefit from the visibility, where now, instead of us running to people, they'll start saying, hey, we saw you on the Moroccan platform. You want to come over? And of course we say yes, because our intention, we refer to ourselves as the continent. The moment you want to have anything from Africa, have it in Cameroon, and then you have the rest of the continent with you.
True. But Africa is such a rich continent. Why not before? Why now?
Why now? Because the mindsets have changed. Why now? Because the young people are more proactive. Why now? Because we are beginning to take our destiny in our own hands. Why now? Because we are beginning to say, listen, we need to do it ourselves or nothing will be done. So that is why now. And you need to hit hard for people to listen, and so the decision makers, the policy makers are beginning to pay attention. That's why I'm here, because my minister said, yes, it's time for us to explore. I'm here because the government of the Republic of Cameroon says, yes, let us begin to build relations with worthy countries, with those who have taken a qualitative and a quantitative leap in the cinematography, and see how we can grow our own. After the years of struggle, after many efforts government has put in, now we need to see What is it? What is the missing link? What is it that we are not doing correctly? And that's why we are here to learn.
Thank you very much. It was an honor. Thank you.
The
And
honor
hopefully this is not going to be the last visit. I hope we will take part in so many coming festivals in the future.
My goodness. I hope to be here almost every week, because this is where things are happening, and this is what I want to take back home, and then so that by the time we have had the next festival, let there be an improvement owing to what I witnessed here.
Thank you very much. It was an honor. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
for having me on your
Thank you.
platform.